See, I have USB thing to plug it into.
You need the square.
I need the square. I need the brick.
Okay, we are live and recording.
Okay. Just so cold in here. Hi. Now call to order this Thursday, June 13th meeting of the Moab City Planning Commission at 6:07 p.m. If you're watching online, apologies, we're running a few minutes late. But we are here now. The first item of, present in chambers. We're light on staff tonight, but heavy on planning commissioners. We have Corey Shirtliff, our planning director, Mikkel Layton, Carolyn Conant, Miles Lofton, and Jill Tatton, and myself here, the full planning commission. And that's all we have in chambers tonight. First item of business is citizens to be heard. I do not believe that we received anything online for citizens to be heard for anything on or off the agenda. Confirm that, Corey?
Correct.
All right, and there is no one here in chambers. So we will go ahead and move off of citizens to be heard to our next agenda item, which is approval of minutes from our May 23rd, 2024 regular meeting. This was our last regular meeting last month. If anyone's had an opportunity to read those, has any corrections that need to be made or comments? Otherwise, we can hear a motion.
I looked through them and I watched the YouTube, so I guess
There you
I'm
go.
happy to make a
Nice.
motion to approve the minutes from the May 23rd, 2024 regular meeting.
I'll go ahead and second that.
Okay, we have a motion from Miles, a second from Jill. Any discussion or amendments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Okay, minutes approved unanimously. Next is our first and only action item of tonight, which is 4.1, consideration and possible recommendation of Moab City Resolution 17/2024, a resolution conditionally approving the Lawrence minor subdivision for the property located at 479 Bowen Circle, Moab, Utah 84532. This is a briefing and possible action on this minor subdivision. Whenever you're ready, Corey.
Righty. Well, thank you. This item may be familiar to some of you and new to some of you as well. The background was included in the agenda summary, which was quite lengthy, as essentially what we're seeing tonight is a resubmittal of a resubmittal. This property owner at 479 Bowen Circle has originally proposed and had approved a minor subdivision of this lot for the intended use of residential development on the flag lot and on the front lot. But as there's currently a two-home situation, one being a trailer that would interfere with the division, the owner is not wanting to record or advance the subdivision until he is ready to have that tenant move off, at which point he can then remove the trailer, stub the utilities, and then advance that recording. So that's what we're looking at tonight is the just under 13,000 square foot regular lot in the subdivision being divided into two that would meet the standard lot requirements for a single family household on the front lot, and then a potential for a duplex or some combination of lots on the back with that 7,000 square feet. This background again goes into kind of the particulars of how the original application moved through the process, was approved, and then the combination of what was a reapplication and then a one-time 1-year extension beyond that, and now coming to us for the fourth time as a brand new application. And if anybody really did their homework, you might have seen a slight progression in the draft survey of the content that's on there. So it's actually evolved over time. And that isn't that our code has evolved, it's that our review process has gotten better and more thorough. And so we've added updated information and additional conditions to more completely have the approval align with what the requirements are. So while that might have been a little bit frustrating for the applicant of like, well, I've had this approved, why do I have to add new stuff? And as we know with our current attorney is just because we've approved things in the past doesn't mean we're obligated to continue approving them in the same way.
Mhm.
what we're obligated to do is have it meet the code to the best of our ability. So that's really where we're at, and appreciate the patience and willingness of the applicant to continue to improve and do that. This is the current draft survey for the plating. We see some additional notes, some additional signature blocks, all those types of things added, as well as the on-site utilities, which is what we're seeing in the updated condition of approval, to have not only that existing trailer removed, but also the specification of having those utilities terminated or moved to align with the appropriate easements or property lines. So really quite straightforward, nothing really substantial to add beyond that. The motion has a bit of substance to that. I think given the record, we'd be comfortable just advancing a recommendation to city council, mentioning that to meet the conditions in the packet, and even just saying conditions A, B, and C, and kind of leaving it at that, I think is sufficient. So you don't have to read a whole bunch of conditions out loud with this particular item. I'll stop sharing screen. We can turn it back to discussion or any additional questions.
Is there a deed restriction on this lot because that trailer is an ADU?
There isn't, and that existing ADU, as it's termed on the
On the plat?
lot, was historic, meaning I'm not terming it legal non-conforming, and I'm not terming it constructed in violation, because it does have service utilities. So at some point in the line, that was put onto the lot, and it doesn't currently meet our standards. So if we're not looking to dig into that right now as this legislative action is moving forward, but if he were to, once he hits that development threshold in the future, it has to come into full compliance with our current ADU standards, if there is a new ADU or any of the development he wants to
So
do.
it's not like currently there's any kind of deed restriction or anything?
No,
It doesn't seem to be, yeah.
Okay,
correct, right.
awesome.
Would you mind pulling up the flag again?
Sure.
The word was not coming to me. The drawing with
But-
lines.
And so I can point out a little bit further. There's some existing fence. Fence is identified, but what we're seeing here is this. There are utility lines, gas, sewer, and water that are identified on here at this
Being
point.
under the existing home and then to the ADU.
Correct. Which is something that on the last round of approval, we identified, but only as a condition of approval. We didn't actually force the survey to demonstrate that. We said as a part or prior to recording, you'll have to provide the engineering to ensure where the utilities are at. But now at this point, we prefer to have it on the plat, record that way. It's beyond a certain, any doubt where things are at. So it's a little bit more of a lift for these property owners up front, but it certainly solidifies any question in the advancement of these approvals.
Are we looking at a flag lot then at the end of this?
Correct. So
Yeah.
yeah, the bearing that you're seeing here is that 20-foot width of a pole of a flag lot
Got it.
back to here.
Hey, man. More housing. Does anyone have any questions? Other than those?
Nope, I have mine answered. So.
All right. good. Corey, would you mind pulling up the proposed motion, please?
Sure.
Or recommended motion, I should say. We can certainly hear a motion if anyone is interested in making one.
Sure.
It's like, Miles is
I'll
gonna wait it out this
All
time.
right,
Like,
you know,
went up to
sometimes
it.
I wonder if anybody else is gonna bite. I move that the Moab City Planning Commission forward a positive recommendation to the City Council on Moab City Resolution 17-2024, a resolution conditionally approving the Lawrence minor subdivision of property located at 479 Bowen Circle, Moab, Utah 84532, with the following conditions listed in the recommendation A, B, and C.
All right, we have a positive recommendation with conditions from Miles. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, and a second from Carolyn. Any further discussion or remaining questions for Corey? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Fabulous. Thanks, everyone. That was quick.
Are most of your minor subdivisions? Do most of your minor subdivisions come with conditions like that?
I think so.
I believe they have it to this, well, maybe not to the same extent that this one has. What we've begun doing is what we're seeing here is removing any conditions of the work that needs to be proposed to prove the administrative approval, meaning, well, you have to show where your utilities are at. Oh, but do that after the approval.
Yeah.
We're saying, no, you need to show them now. But things that would are like this, or the condition that is, well, you can't record till you move that structure.
Mhm.
We'll call a construction condition. Those I think are still pretty acceptable because he's not going to move the trailer, kick somebody out if he's not going to get the subdivision. So those types of things we're obviously willing to work with, but anything that is content of approval, we're really pushing to have that on the front end now.
That tracks with what I've seen.
In general, this seemed really thorough too, considering he had applied several times with the background and everything. And then the reapplication for the fourth-ish time, like it seems very thought through.
Clock be ticking,
Yeah.
unfortunately, sometimes. Okay, future agenda items. What do we have?
At this point, we don't have anything that I'm ready to say, oh, we're ready to go. Obviously, everything's still in the works, like we've been saying for months now. The one big bit of news, and I wish Anna were here, unfortunately, and I'm sure she's watching. Anna is leaving our office.
Oh, gosh, darn it.
So she really wanted to be here tonight as the last meeting. She's not feeling well, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
But did want to recognize her before the commission and before the community with all of her effort and all of her work that she's done over the last 2 years. And yeah, she's fortunately moving to a position up north that is very exciting. She's, I don't know where she's at in the process. I don't want to spill the beans too much, but it's something that when we were talking about it, I was very excited for her. So obviously very sad to have one of our staffers leaving, but it's leaving for a good reason, for a good location. So we're really happy and supportive and wishing her good luck, but just formally saying how much we appreciate all the work that she's done.
Absolutely. I'm sad she couldn't be here.
Yeah, it was, she had left work a little earlier today saying, oh, I'm gonna come back for the meeting though. And I just got a text saying, I'm not gonna be able to make it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, she obviously is sad about it, but it's a great opportunity. So we'll continue to move forward. So with that, I guess on the horizon is I'm going to be coordinating with Michael Black, our Community Development Director, to review the planning division and how we want to approach things moving forward. As we've had Bryce leave, now Anna leaving, is maybe an opportunity to look at what we have as far as our division, and not only that, but how we're staffing and all these sorts of things. So hopefully, moving to the future, we'll have a refined division that is going to work efficiently and be and work for the people that come into these positions. So
Totally. We need a billboard between us and the county. Moab needs planners on the north end of town.
that's right.
Having a planning degree, interested in learning about planning?
If there's any pitch to be done, I don't know if you can learn more in such a short period of time in any other
Yeah.
community, whether it's Grand County or here. You're
It's very true.
doing a lot of things that have a lot of intensity. So if you're wanting the baptism by fire,
Yep.
the place.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
it is.
which.
But you also get really amazing opportunities you wouldn't get after 15 years some
I
places.
think
so.
exactly. I think Anna had mentioned, she worked Salt Lake City and a couple other communities for over 15 years and then didn't do half the things that she
Yep.
was able to do here.
Yep. That's cool.
So
Well, glad we can be the training ground for everybody else to poach our
Right.
people.
that's right.
You're welcome, Salt Lake
Too
City.
often.
So no, in the future meetings, yeah, I don't have anything right off the bat that's coming out of DRT that's pressing or on the route, but we are, and this is just something, again, continually keeping you updated, working on our zoning, municipal zoning code update. We've been coordinating with our consultants for that, and it's getting a little bit more refined, nearing the place I think we'd be able to start bringing in workshops with the commission here, hopefully pretty soon. I know the consultants are super eager. We've had to delay it because of administrative changes in the city and everything else that we've been occupied.
Mhm.
So that's really it. Nothing more to report at this
Awesome.
point.
Thanks, Corey. All right, meeting is adjourned at 6:22 PM. Shortest meeting ever.
Yeah,
I think that may have set the
I've-
record.
I think I've owed you guys a short meeting and I've done it for a while.
Here's the thing though, it's on us every time. If
Yeah,
it's a long
that's-
meeting, it's
that's
not because
true.
it's a bunch of stuff on the agenda. It's because we ruminate over
Good-
everything. for
Good
2 hours.
dialogue and good
It's
questions.
just a topic worth a fair bit of discussion.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We're not looking to get out of here. We're looking to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I will close the meeting.
It's a good night
Thanks,
for my
everyone.
laptop today.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Did
Corey.
our friend